Welcome back everyone, and welcome back to week 4 of the Defender build. So if you haven't seen the previous 3 episodes, then go back and check them out, because we've got the old alu cab rooftop tent on and we've got to the stage we are now. So really happy with how it's coming on. But when we left you last, we was getting all these capping on, so we've got that on, so that tidies this up nicely. All the electrics behind there, and then I've done a few things inside here as well. We thought we were done and we could get everything out and start getting filling and things like that, but little did we know there's all sorts of other stuff to sort. So like I say, we showed you the toilet, that's still in, and then what I've done is I've just cut another little cut out, so we've got like a little cupboard in here. So we're going to put toilet rolls and toiletries and all that sort of stuff in there. And then also the batteries in here, I've just put a lid on them as well, so if we ever need to get to them, that's nice. And then in here we've got, so I've got a front on the bed frame now, and what I wanted to do was, when we pull the bed frame out, we're going to have storage under here, and I didn't want to have it that when we pull that out, all the stuff that was in there falls out. So what we're going to do is we're going to have doors on here, so it's all nice and covered away. But then when you pull it out, I put a second board inside, so that sort of keeps everything in there quite nice. And then, like I say, you pull it out and you've got your bed. So that's coming along nicely.
So, I'm not going to lie to you, it's been a bit of a nightmare trying to get safe drinking water in this landy, because what we would usually do is run a couple of big 5-litre containers or 10-litre containers with our drinking water in, and not use our drinking water out of the tank. But there's just not enough space in here for that. So we've got a pre-filter here, and that's 0.02 microns, so it gets rid of lots of bacteria, all the nasty sedimenty bits in there, and makes it so that this filter can work, which is our UV filter. So the water runs through it and there's just a little UV lamp inside, and that disinfects everything. But it's really important that you use this filter first, because if there's any big particles in the water, it can block the UV light from reaching the nasties. So you need to use both, really. What I really like about this system, and this is why I went with these guys, is that there is a flow switch, because most of these UV lamps have to be on all the time, and that's not really practical in a camper because you're going to use a lot of power. So this has got a little flow switch that works to turn it on. So this was £60 and this is £160, so much better than the kind of £1,000 price tag in excess of that I was looking at with other systems, and it's quite small and compact, so that works quite well. So that means we're hopefully going to be able to brush our teeth, wash fruit, do whatever we want while we're in Africa and other countries and not have to worry.
So I just got the worktop and the sink in, but we use this board from, it's called Oakley Furniture Board, and it's from the British Wood Panelling Company in Ipswich, and it's brilliant. A 2.4 metre length is so light, it's unbelievable. It's not like your normal kitchen worktops, and with a bit of Danish oil comes up lovely. But I weighed it yesterday, a 2.4 metre length is only 10 kilos, and we've used it before in previous vans, it's come up lovely. So a perfect thing for this, where we want to keep the weight down as well.
So, Bloomin' Rain has stopped play again with the worktops, so we've changed over to doing these windows. And when we went to fit them, you can see over here, there's quite a decent gap because of the partitions on the wall and the insulation and stuff. So, these frames weren't wide enough to meet and there was a gap. But John has come up with an ingenious idea. He's got this rubber trim that we've just slid over the edges here, and then it fills the gap and slides right up to the window. I'll show you, it's given us a really swish finish on it, and filled the gap. So happy with that, and it means you can clean it if they get dusty and everything like that. We don't want to use foam or something like that. But the windows are brilliant. So they open right up, so we can pass tea and coffee and things out, and they're on gas struts as well, so they'll stay open. They've got these built-in blinds at the top and built-in fly mesh at the bottom. Very nice.
We've got the bottom mattress in. Like I said before, this is just going to be for emergencies. If we can't pop the roof, at least we got somewhere to sleep anyway. So this is a single mattress and it pretty much fits perfect. So, but what we're going to do, if you look here, there's a bit of a gap this side where the arch sort of like goes out. So we don't really want to push the mattress up to it because you're not going to get anything in there. It's a bit of a waste. So what we're going to do is we've bought a cargo net. And we're going to put a cargo net all the way along, and it's going to pull up there so we can chuck all like pants, t-shirts and all that. We're gonna have all storage all the way along there for clothes. So again, not wasting that. And then the good thing is then, once that's in there, this cushion goes up against it and it will sort of like give it a bit of a slant as well. But like I say, if we'd have pushed it all the way up, we'd have just lost all that space. So happy days. But this is just a single mattress, second hand from Marketplace. And we got 2 of them for 40 quid. And we find this is the cheapest way to get them. And then you don't mind hacking them up as well, because easiest way to do it is get your old carving knife, kitchen carving knife, and then just chop away. So that's what we're going to do now. Brilliant.
Can I just rewind for a second, love? What size did you say the mattress was?
It was a single mattress.
Yeah, and how many people are supposed to sleep in it?
2.
Oh yeah, and what were you giving me grief for the other day?
Yeah, I was giving her grief for a single one in a big bed, but like I say, it's only going to be for emergency, so she was right. It's going to be a bit snug, but it'll do.
Sorry, can we just replay that again? I was what?
She was right. It doesn't happen often, but she was right. Anyway, let's get this cup.
Well, this will ding dang do for me. I am stoked with how comfy this is. So I'm just going to get these upholstered, and this is obviously day mode. To turn it into a bed, this cushion comes out and just pops in one of the front seats. This one here comes in here, and then the rest of it is actually going to be upstairs in our normal bed, and we're going to use it as our second pillow. So you haven't got loads of cushions floating about all over the place.
Good morning, everybody. Didn't see you yesterday because I spent the entire day just filling and sanding and filling and sanding and filling and sanding. But before I get into paint shop this morning, there's 4 tips that I wanted to show you from things that we do. So the first one is we don't buy expensive wood fillers and stuff like that. We just use this Easy Fill, which is like a wall filler. And before you have a meltdown, we've used this in all temperatures and seriously tested it out on some corrugated roads, never had a problem. You can just mix up as much as you need, away you go, cheap as anything, and you can see, look, it fills all the creg holes nicely, and we use it on the ends of the wood to fill in the end grains, because on ply you sometimes get some not very nice looking end grain bits, so that's what we use that for. If you're joining 2 bits of wood, we use this no nonsense paintable silicone. It's so good, never cracks, absolutely awesome. And then this is where people really might melt down, so skip ahead to the next chapter if you've got a thing about painting. But we find the best thing for painting our cupboards is really good quality, durable wall paint. Not necessarily wood paint, all that sort of stuff, because they tell you one of the best primers for wood is wall paint anyway. So you're getting a paint and you're getting a primer in one. It cleans up great. Like I say, we've done it on a few vans and had no trouble. My last little thing, favourite little tip or hack of all time, is to cling film up your painter, like paint tray and roller, in between when you're doing stuff. Saves so much money washing paint down the drain and time washing up your rollers. So they are my hot tips.
So my job for the day is fitting this fuel tank, and it's a 45 litre fuel tank that goes in the driver's side rear arch, and it pretty much fills the arch, so we're really happy with it because then we don't have to take 2 jerry cans and you're making use of the arch. I've undersealed the tank as well just to protect it a little bit before we put it in, but the bit I'm not looking forward to is this little fitting here. So this is for the balancing pipe, and basically what you've got to do is you've got to drill your main fuel tank, plastic tank. You've got to fish a wire through, and then you've got to run that through the wire and then tighten that up, and hopefully it seals. So I'm not looking forward to doing that. And basically that just is a little pipe that goes between this tank and that tank, and it levels out. So hopefully that goes well. And then also I've got this little fitting here. It's just a little T-piece, and I'm going to run this on that balancing pipe, and that's going to feed my night heater as well. I've looked it up on the internet, plenty of people have done it, so should be all right anyway.
Clumpy, I blame you.
Hold it then.
Oh, I'm gonna punch you. Tell you what, if you don't shut up, I'm just gonna drop it.
Let go. Hold it then.
I am holding it.
Let go.
Oh, I'm gonna punch you.
Right, I need to push it in again while I do this. she's in. And like I was saying, look how much it fills the arch. Brilliant, really. 45 litres, so that's all good. And then I've just got to finish the cabling down here. I'm going to cable tie that up there. I'm not going to put any fuel in it now. I'm just going to wait till tomorrow, because I've put some sealant on the union that's in the tank, so hopefully she don't leak. So I've just got to finish them wires, and then I'm going to put the arch back on. I took that off when I was painting them and just left it off until I fitted that tank, so I can get that finished now as well.
It has been a dull old day. All I've done the entire day is just paint. Just paint and paint.
Can you
all
not
the day
tell?
long. Just paint.
This is how Jess paints. Look, stand up. Look at this. Look at the state of it. She's only painting cabinets. This is how Jess paints, right? She goes, paint one for you, paint one for me.
No, John, this is what hard work looks like.
I don't think so.
And perfection. I'd prefer the paint went on me than there was like a run or something. Anyway, so that's been really boring. Sorry, everyone. And guess what I've got to do tomorrow? More painting. Everything has got one coat on though, and lots of stuff's got two. So hopefully tomorrow, with the last of the like cabinet painting, we've still got to do the doors and everything. What are you bobbing your head
I need to
for?
go get my wheels, but the bloke who's powder coating them is being a pain in the arse. He's had them for 3 weeks.
3
really.
weeks.
Yeah. And I've rung him today. Oh, I best ring the shop blaster. So hopefully we're going to go get them, because we've got to go get a roof rack.
Yeah.
So we need some wheels to go get a roof rack.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
She's not going very far on the axle stands, is she?
No.
Anyway, so we'll see you tomorrow for more painting. What are you going to do tomorrow?
Apart from annoy you.
Oh, he does that anyway.
I don't know. I don't know what we got on. We'll have to look at the list anyway.
Well, I'm going to be painting again. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Groundhog Day. I'm wearing the same clothes, doing the same thing as I did yesterday. Just painting all day.
Are you going to get them finished today?
Oh, God, I hope so.
I hope
sick
so.
of painting.
3-day paint job.
The worst part is I'm not even done because we still have to do all the drawer fronts.
Anyways, so let me show you what I've been up to anyway. So I've got the night heater tested today, and that all works, and I've just put the vent in there. So happy days. I filled the fuel tank up, and fingers crossed she's all good. So she's not leaking, so happy days. And then today's job is water tanks. So I've got this 50 litre fresh water tank, and that's going to go under the arch here, and again it pretty much fills the arch, so I won't be getting any more. I wouldn't be able to get a bigger one, so that's pretty much as maximum you can go. And then that's an 18 litre waste tank, and I'm going to fit that just under there as high as it can go over there as well. So I'm going to get that done, and then also I've got the filler neck to try and fit in somewhere, so it's all a bit of a squeeze, but fingers crossed it all fits. So I've got the brackets made anyway to hold the tank up, but if you've not got one of these, you need to get one of these tools as well. This is called a rivy nut gun, and basically just tiny little riv nuts like this, and what it is for is, I'll show you. So when you've got things like the chassis here, where you can't get to it, it's like hollow, it's all boxed in, what you do is you get these little nuts, and then you put them in there, and then they tighten up, and basically they just work like a rivet, so it just crimps up, and then it holds in there, and then you can just put a bolt straight through, so where you can't get a nut to the back of it. And I'd like do it on loads of bits, like when I was doing that fuel tank yesterday. So on here, on the filler neck, because you can't really get to the back of it with a nut and a washer, I just put rivy nuts in there as well. So I try to use them in all different places, it just makes it so much easier. I was getting a load of grief the other day when I showed that that cable hack that I did, because I drilled an 8mm hole in the dash, and everyone was having a duck fit saying I've ruined the dash by drilling an 8mm hole in there. I don't think they realise we drill 84mm holes in the side of the van, so in the floor, and take the roof off. Like I say, the 8mm hole in the dash is the least of my worries, but anyways, got it in anyway. So yeah, that's where the filler neck's going. I only had a 83mm bit, but I've got these little flat discs, little flat wheels, and I've got a few different sizes of them, so I just took that out another millimetre to get it in, so that fits in there nice and snug now, look. And that's where I'm going to have the filler neck come through, and the pipe just goes straight into there, into the tank, and then I've got the brackets all done. I've still got to paint them up and then get them secured in properly. The only thing is the outlet for the water tank came in there, and I don't really want it there because all the dirt and everything like that off the wheels, so I'm probably going to blank that off and then take the pick up that side and then run it up the side, and then I'm going to run the pipes across the top of the arch there and then in through the back over there, so again out the way. So yeah, it's coming on nicely, so just got to get the waste tank in. So I've got the waste tank on, that's all fitted now, so it's just going to sit under there, so it won't be any lower than the actual chassis. I've got to cut obviously these brackets down like a 45, so it's not sharp there. And then what I'm going to do is this side, I'm going to have the inlet at the top there for all the waste, and then this is where I'm going to mount my electronic waste valve. So again, it'll be behind there, so it'll get stopped by getting all the dirt chucked at it, and then obviously I'll have the switch in the cab to dump all the waste from there. Why are you painting in the shed, Jess? Why aren't you painting outside?
Do not get me started on this bloody English weather. I want a refund on this summer. It's not acceptable. Although, I told my 6-year-old niece the other day I wanted a refund on the weather, and she said to me, Jess, the government don't do the weather. Cheeky little bugger.
I can see you're keeping up with appearances anyway. 1 stroke for the wood, 1 stroke for you, look.
Yeah, I'm looking good.
No, you're painting your head, Jess.
So John and I have had a couple of little tiffs during this van build, and it's because he asked me to go and get him something, and I say, sure, which one do you want or from where? And he gets frustrated. He's like, oh, you know what I want. Let me just give you an example of the choice I've got in these things. Everyone knows this is what a drill bit box looks like. Normal. Or is it? Because hang on. Oh yeah, drill bits. Let's just go over here a second. What have we got? Oh yeah, more drill bits. More drill bits. More drill bits. And the pixie resistance. More bloody drill bits.
What are you doing?
Just showing them your drill bit drawer, boy.
Don't you show people my drill bit drawer. That's personal.
No, it's a sick
It's
obsession.
personal. You never show anybody else my drill bit drawer.
He's got a problem, people. He's got a problem.
So I've painted the brackets and they're drying. I'll give them a few coats, and the next job I've got to get on with is I've got to do the straps that hold the tank to the brackets. Now all I've got to go with is some 25 by 2mm flat bar. I've done this a few times, it works brilliant. And then all I do is I fold it into like a U shape that goes round the tank, and I stick some self-adhesive foam to it so it protects the tank, it doesn't damage the tank. And then I just weld a bolt to the end of the bar like that, and then when it goes through the bracket in the end, I just stick a nut on and wind it on to tighten it up. Yeah, that's the easiest way I find to do it, nice and cheap. And then I fold it, like I've shown you this before, but I just wanted to do a quick review on it. It's absolutely brilliant. I'd be lost without it now. Like, I've used it loads of times doing little jobs on this, like brackets and things like that. So for a couple £100, you can't go wrong with these. So I'll show you how it works again.
Well, I finally got all the cabinets painted and they look pretty good. I just have to wait for them to harden. I was desperate to put them in tonight, but I'm going to exercise some self-control and wait till tomorrow till they're properly hard so we don't dent them and chip them and whatever.
Always need to wait till it's properly hard till you do it.
This is what I've got to live with. Trying to film, trying to talk to you, and there's childish, immature jokes.
That wasn't a
constantly.
joke. I was talking about the paint. What are you talking about? Get your mind out the gutter.
Anyways, what I wanted to show you was La Toilette. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is.
Yeah, we wanted to fit her in just to mock her up because we haven't actually tested it since we've done all this.
No,
but
well, not actually tested it.
But we've got the Santa clad on the top, and we've sealed around the top of that, and then we've got the toilet in, and then what we've done is the actual diverter we've siliconed to the toilet lid. So then when you lift that up, that goes with it. I haven't done the little P pipe yet. We're just going to have to fix that in the floor so that sort of slots into it. But I have to get exact to do that.
Yeah, we want to make sure we wait till we screwed that in, eh?
Yeah, and then I haven't actually shown you the box and the pipe fan.
You be careful with that paint.
Oh dear.
That's
So yeah, so that's all the box sorted, and the fan, like I say, is just a real silent fan. That will go through the box, and all it is a pipe that goes through the ground, and on the bottom I've got some bug mesh, stainless steel bug mesh that I've just clipped to the bottom of the pipe. And like I say, that will just run 24/7 whenever we're actually using the toilet, and I'll fit the switch so you can turn it off when we're not in the van. And like I say, if we didn't put this box in, that's only the depth we'd have had for Jess and her her activities.
Right, I'm not having this anymore. Not anymore. I am a polite toilet user. This creature, there's a reason we need a fan. Let's just leave it at that.
You drop a big log though, don't you, Jess? Well, I think we're going to call it a day there anyway. But tomorrow, I think we're going to get all the cabinets in, hopefully, as long as they're dry. So, yeah, fingers crossed. She's all good.
Today is the day. They're all painted. We've got the drawer runners fitted this morning. John has put the foam on and fitted the toilet lid, so they're ready to go in. Days. The old cabinets are in. Come and have a look inside. She is looking swish. So we've got all the drawers in, toilets in nicely. This is a little bit of an issue. It doesn't slide out so smoothly, so I'm gonna have to sand that back and try again, but that's all right. We've got the isolating switch here for the water pump, because we realised after going down some of those corrugations in Australia, if a water pipe was to pop off, we'd be in a bit of a mess. So we've got that so that if we're going over bumpy roads, or for whatever reason we want, we can switch it off. Got the outside shower point here. I've done a bullfinch shower point again. We love them. They're just really easy to use, which means I've got my table for all my shampoos and things. And also, it's just a little bit more discreet around the back of the door rather than on the side of the thing. So we'll get John to show you inside.
So like Jess said, apart from a mistake with this bed...
My mistake?
She put about 10 layers of paint on it.
I did not. I did a perfect paint job. It just is a bit tight.
We just got to sand it down. So, but apart from that, everything else has gone really, really well. So I'm really pleased with it. But yeah, these drawers, I'll just show you them. Obviously that one's for the cooker. We've gone with ball bearing sliders. And this one, we've gone, it's one drawer, but obviously when you get a sink in, you lose so much space. So we've just put a divider in. So it makes it into 2 drawers. So it's going to be a huge drawer. And then obviously behind there, that's where all the electrics are and the water pump and everything like that. So we can pull the drawer out and then still get to it to do all the maintenance on it and the filter change and everything like that. So really happy with that. And then the drawer fronts, we haven't made yet because we wanted to get it all in and get it bolted in, because obviously once you bolt it in, everything moves ever so slightly. So because they're going to be inset doors, they have to be pretty spot on. So that's all that. And then the fridge unit, obviously that's going to go in there. And what we've done is we just screwed a bit of batting into the bottom of the wood, and then put some nuts and bolts and some washers in there. So when the fridge slides back, the little metal lip on the fridge will stop the washers will stop it from moving. And then we'll put 2 screws in the front, and then she shouldn't move. So yeah, coming along nicely. We just got to finish the worktops, get them in. Again, we didn't want to do them until this is in. And then just all the little finishy touches inside really. So yeah, we'll hopefully next week we'll get that done, and then start getting on a few bits on the outside as well. So we'll see you next week.